Hey, good morning, students. Today we are going to study the topic called as gradient of the scalar point function. So let me write gradient of a scalar, or you can say gradient of a scalar point function, and it is denoted by letter del phi. Just a gradient is del. Yesterday we have studied the differential operator and the Laplacian operator. What is the differential operator? Differential operator is del bar, and it is equals to I bar into dou by dou x plus j bar into dou by dou y plus k bar into dou by dou z. This is the differential operator that we have studied, right? And what is the Laplacian operator? Laplacian operator is a del square, and this is equals to dou 2 by dou x square plus dou 2 by dou y square plus dou 2 by dou z square. This is the Laplacian operator. Both are the operators, that's why those are operated on the scalar point function. It may be phi or anything else, right? Now what is the gradient of the scalar? Apart from this, we also considered the three cases yesterday, that is del phi. This is called as a grad phi or a gradient of the function, and the second is a dot product of this differential operator with the vector point function, and the cross product of this with the vector point function, right? If you are taking the dot product of the differential operator with the vector point function, then this is called as a divergence. This also we have studied yesterday. Today we are going to study in detail. And del phi, that is differential operator, is operated on the scalar point function, and therefore it is called as a gradient of the function, and this gradient of function is a vector quantity, right? Because this is a scalar, and scalar is operated on the vector, so ultimately this gives you a vector quantity. Now this is a dot product of two vector quantities, so divergence is always just a scalar quantity. Please remember. Now this is a cross product. Cross product of two vectors will ultimately gives you a vector only. So cross product of differential operator and the vector point function v bar will be a vector quantity, and this is called as the curl of the vector, right? Curl of vector. Got it? The brief introduction of these things we have studied yesterday only. Now today we are going to study what is meant by gradient of the vector point function, scalar point function, or I can say just a gradient of the scalar, right? Now to understand in more clearly, let us consider the scalar point function phi. So phi is a scalar point function, and it is a function of three independent variables x, y and z. Got it? So x, y, z represents the position of the points, isn't it? And therefore I can say r bar is a position vector of x, y and z, and its position vector can be written as xi bar plus yj bar plus zk bar. So this is the position vector, and if you differentiate this, you will get dr bar is equals to dx I bar plus dy j bar plus dz k bar. Got it? This also we have studied yesterday. Now if you differentiate, or if you take the total differentiation of the scalar point function phi being a function of three independent variables x, y and z, then you will get a d phi is equals to, how you can write d phi? Total differentiation d phi is equals to phi x into dx plus phi y into dy plus phi z into dz. This also we have written yesterday only. So for more clarity or more precisely, I can write total differentiation of the given scalar point function d phi is equals to, now what is this? Phi x, phi y and phi z are the partial derivatives of the scalar point function with respect to x, y and z. So therefore I can write dou phi by dou x into dx plus dou phi by dou y into dy plus dou phi by dou z into dz. Let us say this is our equation number 1, right? So this is total differentiation. Now how I can write this d phi I can also write in terms of dot product. I would like to write this as I bar into dou phi by dou x plus j bar into dou phi by dou y plus k bar into dou phi by dou z dot. So it's dot product with again I bar into dx plus j bar into dy plus k bar into dz, right? If you take the dot product, you should get this term again. So you just recheck it whether you are getting this term or not. So dot product of this with this I dot I is 1. So you will get dou phi by dou x into dx. You are getting this term. Similarly, you will get the second and third terms also. So this is d phi. I have written in terms of a dot product. So I can write d phi is equals to, now what is this? I into dou phi by dou x. I can write for this in terms of differential operator. If I can take out this phi scalar point function as a common, then you will get into bracket I bar into dou by dou x plus j bar into dou by dou y plus k bar into dou by dou z, right? And this is nothing but differential operator into scalar point function phi dot, what is this? This is nothing but dr bar. So I can write this is equals to dr bar. So d phi I got in terms of dou phi into dr bar. This dou phi, I will make the bracket to it. This dou phi is called as grad phi, or it is called as gradient of the scalar point function. So this grad phi dot dr bar. Got it? Isn't it? So what is the value of a gradient of grad phi? So the value of the grad phi is equal to actually this. This is equals to, so I can write here grad phi, or this is nothing but del phi is equals to I bar into dou by dou x plus j bar into dou by dou y plus k bar into dou by dou z into phi. So this is the gradient of the scalar point function. This is the value of the grad phi. Got it? Hope you have understood what is the gradient of the scalar point function. And let's go ahead and try to understand what is the physical significance of gradient of the scalar point function. Once we finish the physical significance of the gradient of the scalar point function, we'll see some examples based on the physical significance of grad phi, and then we'll go for the divergence, right? So let's go for the physical significance of grad phi. Let me write out this also. And physical significance of gradient of the scalar point function, or I can say del phi only, right? Now to understand the physical significance of gradient of the scalar point function, let us consider two surface levels or two level surfaces. And to consider these two level surfaces, let us say this is my first level surface. So this is my first level surface S1. I will write this S1 this, and this is my second level surface. So let me draw this second level surface somewhat bigger one as compared to the first one. So this is S1 and S2. So what is S1 and S2? S1 and S2 are the level surfaces. Level surface. And this is a second level surface. Right? Now the two level surfaces are explained with the help of a scalar quantity or the scalar point function, and let us say the phi 1 or just say phi is a scalar point function which describes or which represents the level surface S1. Similarly, the scalar point function phi plus d phi describes or represents the second level surface S2. Got it? Why phi plus d phi? Because there is a small infinitesimal change in levels from S1 to S2, and therefore the scalar point function will be different for S1 and S2, and there will be a small rise in scalar point function, and that's why I have considered phi plus d phi. Now let us consider the 2 points. Let us say point P and point Q. So let us say point P is on the level surface S1 and point Q is on the level surface S2. So let us say this is point Q, but this point Q is not exactly at the center. Why I have considered somewhat away from its center, that you will come to know later on, right? And let us consider n bar is the unit normal vector to the level surface S1. So let me draw the unit normal vector. So this is the unit normal vector, right? So n cap is the unit normal vector to the level surface S1 exactly at the point P. Got it? Now let us say this is the origin. This is the point O, origin. Now point O is the origin, that is the reference point for point P and Q on the level surfaces S1 and S2. So I can say the point P is at a particular distance from origin. And how much is this distance? Let us say r bar is the position vector of point P with respect to point O. What will be the position vector of point Q with respect to origin O? If the scalar phi represents S1 and phi plus d phi is represented for level S2, then the position of the point Q with respect to point O will be equals to r bar plus dr bar, because this will be the position vector of point Q on level S2. Got it? dr is a small infinitesimal change in the position of point Q, as the scalar point function for Q is phi plus d phi, because there is a small infinitesimal change in the scalar point function, and that's why I can represent in this way. Got it? Now by triangle law of vector addition, what will be the value of this? Right? So this is one vector, this is another vector, and this is a third vector. So this minus this, you can't minus this, you can't do this minus this, because this is having higher value, this is a lower value. So this minus this will be this. So this will be a dr bar. Got it? So this is just a simple one. So clear? So I can say OP bar is a position vector, and the value of this position vector is r bar. Similarly, OQ bar is also a position vector for point Q, and this is equals to r bar plus dr bar. Similarly, PQ bar is the position vector or is a connecting length between point P and Q, and this is equals to dr bar. And let us say theta is the angle between PQ bar and unit normal vector, right? And I can say here theta is the angle between PQ bar and unit normal vector n bar, which is passing through or which is normal to the level surface S1 at point P. Got it? and therefore I can say, what is the value of d phi? D phi, just we have calculated, this is equals to grad phi dot dr bar, or this is equals to del phi dot dr bar, isn't it? Right? And now what you can do is if n bar is the unit normal and theta is the angle between pq bar and this n cap, or I can say dr bar, pq bar, that means dr bar, and I can say theta is the angle between pq bar, or I can say dr bar, both are same actually, dr bar and n bar. So this is dr bar and this is the unit normal vector. So you can write d phi is equals to how much? How I can write this? This is equals to mod of d phi into mod of dr bar into cos theta. Dot product is a bar dot b bar equal to ab cos theta. No? So I can write in this way. I did not to write the mod for it. So without writing mod, you can write this as del phi into dr into cos theta. So this is the value of d phi. Got it? Now I can write this d phi as d phi by dr. I will shift dr bar on other side and you will get this is del phi into cos theta. So what is this? Del phi by dr is a rate of change of the scalar point function with respect to r. This is called as the directional derivative, and this will be having a maximum value when theta is equals to 1, and when the theta is equals to 1, sorry, when cos theta is equals to 1, and when you will get cos theta is equals to 1 when theta is equals to 0, right? So this is the physical significance of grad phi. Hope you have understood this, the physical significance of grad phi, right? Let us solve a problem based on this. Let's study the first problem, one problem based on the scalar point function, and the rest of the problem will solve later on. So the first problem, if phi is equals to 3x square y minus y cube z square, then find grad phi at point. What is the value of the point? The point is 1, minus 2, minus 1. Let me recheck up. Yes. Now you are asked to calculate the value of grad phi. And what is the value of grad phi? Grad phi is equals to del phi, and this del phi is equals to I bar into dou by dou x plus j bar into dou by dou y plus k bar into dou by dou z into phi. Now put the value of phi here. So the value of phi is equal to 3x square y minus y cube z square. Got it? Now if you solve this, then you will get this equals to I bar will be as it is into differentiation of this bracket with respect to x will be equals to 6x y. Got it? Because y is acting as a constant and the second term do not have a x quantity, so the differentiation will be 0 plus j bar into differentiation of this bracket with respect to y will be is equals to 3x square minus 3y square z square plus k bar into differentiation of this with respect to z will be, there is no z in the first term, so that goes to 0, and the differentiation of the second term with respect to z will be minus time 2y cube z. Now put the values of particular point. So you are asked to calculate its value at the point 1 minus 2 minus 1. So just put out the values. These are the values of x, y and z. So you will get this equals to I bar into 6xy. So 6x is equals to 1, y is equals to minus 2. So this will be minus 2 into 6, that means minus 12. Plus j bar into 3x square minus 3y square into z square. So put the value of x is equals to 1, you will get here 3 minus y is minus 2, its square is a 4. So 4 into 3 is a 12. So this is minus 12 and z square is a 1. So 3 minus 12 plus k bar into bracket minus 2 into y cube z. Y is minus 2 and minus 2 cube will be minus 8. 2 into 2 into 2 is 8 and its cube is minus. So minus 8 into minus 1, that means plus 8. So I can just write 8. So and this is, you will get equals to minus 12 I bar. This you will get also negative. 3 minus 12 will be minus 9, na? Minus 9 j bar, and this will be also negative. So 8 into 2 will be minus 16. Minus 16 into k bar. If you take out negative sign common, you can write this as 12 I bar plus 9 j bar plus 16 k bar. So the value of grad of I sorry, at point 1 minus 2 minus 1 is equals to this one. So this is how you can solve the problem of gradient of the scalar point function. Hope you have understood this problem. This is very simple one. In the next video we will solve some more problems based on the scalar point gradient of the function. Thank you.